Time to know the news of the week. I'm Hannah Tabios. This is the MB Rundown. The High Court, acting as Presidential Electoral Tribunal or PET, failed anew to rule on the vice presidential poll protest on Tuesday. Instead, the country's highest tribunal ordered the release to the parties of the report on the recount, revision, and appreciation in the three pilot provinces, namely Camarines Sur, Iloilo, and Negros Oriental. It also ordered both Vice President Leni Robredo and former Senator Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos's camps to submit their respective memorandum on the PET's resolution on Marcos's motion to nullify the election results in the three ARMM provinces, Lanao del Sur, Basilan, and Mindanao. On Tuesday's press briefing, Supreme Court Public Information Office Chief Attorney Brian Keith Osaka did not disclose the court's decision. Rather, he said Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio and Associate Justice Alfredo Benjamin Caguiwa dissented. Reports said Carpio cast a dissenting vote because the protest should have been dismissed since Petitioner Marcos failed to make substantial recovery in the three pilot areas he identified in his protest. But Marcos's lawyer said his camp will still pursue his election protest against Robredo to hold the alleged cheater liable. In response, Robredo said Marcos has been dragging his election case to have a platform for propaganda. A magnitude 6.3 quake shook parts of Mindanao on Wednesday. The tectonic quake, classified as moderately strong by FIVOLCS, struck Tulunan Town in North Cotabato past 7 in the evening. Nearby provinces also felt the strong quake, including Kidapawan City, which felt the earthquake at intensity 7, classified as destructive. Indigo City, Cor Jesu College was severely damaged, while a fire broke out in a mall in General Santos City shortly after the earthquake struck. A pregnant woman in Kidapawan City also suffered miscarriage as 200 aftershocks hit Cotabato's capital city. Classes have also been suspended in order to conduct proper assessment on the extent of damages in the affected areas. The disaster killed at least 5 persons, while 21 were injured. The Transportation Department has finally deployed the controversial Dalian train for a trial run on Tuesday. 3 coaches of the first set of the Chinese-made train finally hit the tracks of the Metro Rail Transit Line 3 or MRT3 on Tuesday evening during its peak hour operations from 8:30 to 10:30 in the evening. MRT3 Director Michael Kapati earlier said that the train can carry up to 1,050 passengers per trip. Transportation authorities also said that all Dalian trains for MRT Line 3 will be fully operational on July 2021. It will be recalled that in 2015, the government under the Aquino administration had obtained 48 Dalian trains. However, it failed to operate due to compatibility issues with the MRT railway. 2 Filipino athletes made historic feats in their individual sports after bringing home gold medals from the World Championship stage. 19-year-old Filipino prodigy Carlos Yulo bagged a gold medal in the 49th World Artistic Gymnastics Championship in Stuttgart, Germany on Saturday night local time. And in less than 24 hours, Pinay athlete Nesty Peticio became the second Filipino to win in a World Championship after defeating Russian boxer Lyudmila Vorontosova in the 2019 ABA Women's World Boxing Championship in Ulan-Ude, Russia. The 2 world champions both arrived in the country on Tuesday and were welcomed by sports officials along with their families. Both of them received cash incentives from the Philippine Sports Commission as well as from the MVP Sports Foundation. In some Asian countries, poverty-stricken families would sometimes rely on instant noodles for their diet, but an international health expert warned that this type of modern food harms children. More in this report. Cheap? Just pour hot water and eat. It cannot be denied that modern food like instant noodles is sometimes the go-to food of some Asian families like in the Philippines. Parents would often feed their children noodles as a means to aid hunger. But in a recent report released by the United Nations Children's Agency UNICEF, 40% of kids aged 5 years old and below in the Southeast Asian countries like the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia was found to be malnourished and underweight. This was due to the lack of nutrient intake brought by ditching traditional diets for affordable, accessible, and easy-to-prepare modern meals. UNICEF said poverty is one of the driving factors of this problem. Apart from noodles, a public health expert also said that sugar-rich biscuits, beverages, and fast food also pose health risks to children in these specific countries. Health experts see government intervention as a means to address the issue, primarily on the item's massive distribution and promotion. Meanwhile, these are the other top news of the week.
2 years after the liberation of Marawi, the national government is signed to complete the rehabilitation of the war-torn city by 2021. Task Force Bangon Marawi or TFBM Chairman Eduardo Del Rosario said on Thursday that all improvised explosive devices and unexploded devices at Ground Zero were already retrieved in the area and were safely detonated, while clearing of debris in the most affected areas will be finished by November 30. With this, the National Housing Authority or NHA finally gave the local government units the go signal to award construction projects in the area. An activist teacher in Bukidnon was shot by unidentified assailants on Tuesday while she was inside her classroom in Bukidnon Province. The victim was identified as Alliance of Concerned Teachers or ACT member Zadie Cabanales, a teacher in Dalit Elementary School in Valencia City. Though the victim is now in stable condition, rights group Karapatan said that the attack is targeted and a calculated maneuver to instill fear as a part of a series of attacks on progressive peasant organizations. It will be recalled that left-leaning teachers group ACT had filed complaints versus the members of the Philippine National Police over harassment and surveillance of their members. 5 bodies and 2 skeletons were discovered on Tuesday at the bottom of a ravine in Sitio Poyopoy, Barangay Taloy Sur in Tuba Benguet. Local history said Sitio Poyopoy has long had a reputation for being the dumping ground of victims of summary executions. But authorities said they cannot issue a statement yet pending the identification of the bodies and a deeper investigation of the case.
Let's take a quick recap of the MB rundown for today, October 18. The Supreme Court, acting as Presidential Electoral Tribunal or PET, fails anew to rule on the vice presidential poll protest. Magnitude 6.3 quake rattles parts of Mindanao on Wednesday evening. The Transportation Department finally rolls out China-made Dalian train for a trial run. 2 Filipino athletes made historic feats in World Gymnastics and Boxing Championships, and an international expert warns about the health risks of feeding children with instant noodles. And that's the MB Rundown. I'm Hannah Tabios.